You went to space in 2021.
Well, they fuel the rocket with hydrogen, and I have seen innumerable times the film on the Hindenburg tragedy, burning, the humanity of it all, people running.
I've seen footage of it.
You know what's burning?
The hydrogen?
Hydrogen.
Oh, the humanity.
And that's what's in the rocket that I'm sitting on top of. Made me very nervous.
And can you confirm that the Earth is round? Because there's been a lot of talk that the Earth is flat. Are you able to tell that from space?
No, I have not seen complete proof that the Earth is round. You can't tell me that it's round with any great proof, other than somebody said, oh, I went around it. Well, that's their journey. My journey is, as far as I'm concerned, the Earth is flat.
Interesting.
I'll tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
If going to space for 11 minutes makes you an astronaut, then probably I'm a scientist. Did Katy Perry really went to space? Now let's take a look at the daisy that she's holding. In a microgravity environment, the plant tissues will be deformed or even collapse due to the lack of support or having low temperature or strong radiation. The daisy flower would be dehydrated and may be discolored by any minutes or will shrink, even half of it in space, and will always appear deformed. This Katy Perry astronaut thing, it is all a show shot, just like what they did to the moon landing. And it is mainly a publicity campaign. And do the entire live show, and that's on the studio, using a simulated capsule that is owned by Jeff Bezos, which is a Blue Origin company. If you're a normal person who loves being into space, would you face the entire camera or looking at the entire Earth? Now, on their landing video, if you are in any flight or any airline perhaps, traveling inbound and outbound, the security and the door lock of any airline there is massive and built in a stronghold material, probably like metals.
They can't, and here's why. They'd have to be able to lift about 25,000 pounds because once this door gets pressurized in flight, it's 9 pounds per square inch, and it's got bolts that attach to the inside pins, actually, that hold that door closed. Now, what about on the ground? Well, above 80 knots, when the airplane accelerates, those pins activate, and that door can't be opened by anybody, even on the ground. Below 80 knots, there's an emergency and you need to get out? Yeah, absolutely. You just flip the handle, and the door opens up, the slide goes out, and out you go. Now you know.
Just like a vacuum chamber, comparing it to the space shuttle that Katy Perry and the girls were using. The flimsy door that cannot even withstand 30,000 feet and open like a Fisher-Price kids' playhouse. All pressure doors are opens out. You all know that? Open inward, then swing out. This is only a marketing for the Blue Origin company, just like the marketing of Nubin. And you probably see it online where they put something in here and their eyes turns to, you know what I mean. Katy Perry going to space for 11 minutes only to look at the camera and show Daisy. This is Rose, by the way. A carefully but not careful enough reality show. It is a big scam. Lauren Sanchez has breast implants. Space is a high vacuum environment. Breast implants would burst, especially under such conditions. And with 360 panoramic windows. Now, if you have the basic knowledge about what real space is, all capsules need to endure immense pressure just to maintain its structure. And that's basic science. Capsules generate a lot of heat and probably would be scorched and even sparking, but they landed completely clean and no signs of burning. Have you seen the Apollo? Yeah, that capsule. Katy Perry goes to space, spends more time on camera instead of looking out. This 11 minutes to space cost $28 million just to show us the daisy flower and her concert event on the butterfly thing. It's like a team of Kardashians in space. And even the logo of their suit, that's a Baphomet. And kissing the Earth after 11 minutes in space or 11 minutes in the studio.
Comparing the thickness of the airplane door versus the thin Blue Origin door.
Gail is freaking upset right now because she's not able to fool all of you.
This is what bothers me, because I've certainly read some of the things online, coming from people that I know.
Gail, why would we think a 70-year-old went to space first try?
And I like, that I consider friends. Space is not an either or.
Not tricking everybody anymore. You're all done.
It's a both and because you do something in space,
it's so insulting to real astronauts.
And
why
what
does
you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth.
How much does that cost? Do you realize I can't even afford dinner tonight?
What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner.
You all had jewelry around your neck. You had no seatbelts on.
And Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place.
Realize you tricked about 10 people out of 8 billion, right?
That's so insulting to Number two, there is nothing frivolous about what we did.
Not being lied to anymore.
It's a both and because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth.
Gail, do you understand that you can't even get on a job site without a helmet, boots, and gloves?
So, I'm very disappointed, very saddened by it, and I also say this. What it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, men too.
A flower cannot survive in space.
You guys, that thing is supposed to be airtight, right? Airtight, because they had their helmets off, their space helmets off, and they were showing us their fabulous hair as they floated by. They floated by, and they waved, and they gave us clovers, and they gave us Pokemon figures, and girl power, and all that, right? It was airtight, right? But when they landed, the door wobbled and was pulled from the inside, even though it only opens from the outside. And then this chick came and told him to hold up, and then he acted like he had a key, or maybe he did have a key. I don't know, Katy Perry, she kissed the ground, Gayle King kissed the ground, and they came out. Gayle King now resents the fact that people are saying that she was only taking a ride. Do you think Katy Perry's gonna do an album about the moon?
I'll be honest, I've been waiting and waiting before I even made a video about this whole fakery, but let's just call a spade at this point. This was clearly fake. Let me explain why. First of all, we've got this scenario here, and this is the people inside of this capsule that have opened the door, and then this person rushed over and told them to shut the door again and wait. So they did. Now right after, the people inside opened the door themselves, and this person ran over and told them to shut it again. The cameras cut off, and then when the cameras came back on, Jeff Bezos went over to the doors with some device and then acted like he'd just opened the doors for the first time on camera, all while this person was letting him and them know they hadn't actually shut the door properly from the first time they'd opened it. And if all that weren't dodgy enough, then you've got the badge that they used on the suits. This is the badge right here. And then you've got this image over here, which to me look very, very similar to each other. And then to top it all off, we've got this video.
So this is Hive moderation. It detects AI 2%. Wow.
So just in this video alone, we've got the 82% AI. We've got the door opening on its own. And then we've got the logo, which is very, very similar to the logo on the right of it. So, all in all, it's not looking good, is it?
Outer space? I think you left your minds out in outer space. I think you're still in outer space. What am I talking about? Is this dress up? Is this a rehearsal? Is this act 2? 11 minutes? What? Doesn't it? You know when scuba divers have to come up to the top and they have to go slow, otherwise they get the bends? Well, doesn't it have an effect on people if they're going up and down in space to the ground in 11 minutes? Well, granted, they're not really in space. They're just 62 miles above the Earth. But, and there's no stars. What's up with that? No G-force thing. What about that door? It looks quite thin, and the way he opened it, for instance, in planes, they ask heavy-set men, hey, will you be a volunteer to open up the emergency door in the plane just in case of an emergency? Look at this little thing. They're saying that there's footage of Jeff Bezos. He wrenched open the hatch door to greet the crew, but before that, there's footage from minutes earlier that shows the door already being opened from inside and then closed, and then they refilmed it. What? Look, if you really went up in this ride, it's scary and it's challenging, and good for you that you did it. And you spent all this money, but did we really have to see it on TV? Like, Katy Perry said it was something, the best thing for mankind, or whatever she said. How is that you spent so much money just to go up on this ride? What? You didn't, like, give it to anybody?
Am I the only one, or does something look a little fishy about this photo? I mean, that doesn't really look like a human hand to me. But hey, what do I know?
Something is definitely not adding up, and I'm gonna be the one to say it. Somebody gotta be lying. I was watching the live footage from when the capsule came from space. Y'all gonna see it too. But somebody that was in the capsule opened the door, opened the hatch from inside the capsule, y'all. So when the door opened from the capsule, a lady that was standing by Jeff Bezos ran over to the door and said something, probably like, don't do that. You can't do that. It's showing. Don't open it. Don't open it. But it was already too late, y'all. It was on live feed. But you know, they still had to try to play it off somehow. So the people from the live crew that was talking was like, Jeff Bezos is about to open the door from the outside. He about to open the hatch. And then Jeff Bezos went over there with some little key or whatever. And then he act like he was opening the door when we all just seen that the door opened from the inside. That's not supposed to happen. You cannot open that capsule from the inside.
Watch this clip and tell me, if I'm such a conspiracy theorist, what's a rational explanation for what happens to her eyes?
Y'all, the whole world is a stage, man. Like, after seeing this video, if y'all don't see that, I don't know what to tell you, man. So if you guys didn't know, Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' space company, so Jeff Bezos has a space company now, right? So they take a group of all women into space, and this thing is just not adding up. Just like every other mission that they said they went to space, it's not adding up. And then I saw nobody was really showing pictures or videos of the spaceship that they went up in space with. It was just the top. That's what they were showing. That's crazy.
The Truman Show is a representation of a man that was asleep in his reality, unaware of how fake his world was, until one day he woke up. And he slowly started putting one and one together and seeing how fake and orchestrated his world was. If this sounds familiar, you might be living in a Truman Show.
It's a dome. 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 Listen, I just had the most outrageous revelation. I can't even explain it. Just please listen. So Jesus is coming back, and he's coming from the heavens. The sky will crack open. Listen. So God reminded me of the dream that he gave me. In the dream, Jesus came back and the sky cracked open. The sky cracked open, okay? So I saw this in my dream. He gave me this dream. He came through the sky. It was cracked open. It wasn't like he entered from heavens to galaxies to earth. No, it wasn't that. It was like an egg. It was like an egg. The egg cracked open. Hold on, I have some verses for you. So it says in Isaiah 24:19-20, it says, this passage in Isaiah describes the earth being shaken and the sky being rolled up like a scroll, which can be interpreted as God's judgment or the coming of a new age. However, That's not what it says. What the description that they're giving, let's read the actual verse. It says that the earth will crack and shatter and split open. Does that make sense to y'all? Because that doesn't make sense, because the earth would have to be a hard structure, such as something like an egg, right? Something like an egg, right? But more of this, right? The sky cracking open. It says in Revelation 6:14, it says, the heavens receded like a scroll being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Listen to this. I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's not enough evidence. You only mentioned a dream and a couple passages in Isaiah and in Revelation. Okay, listen to this. In Noah's flood, it says that the floodgates were open. Gates. Think about it. You say, oh, well, gates is symbolism. No, gates is not symbolism. Gates. The floodgates were open. The heavens are just there. If there's nothing that passages, if there's a no passage from Earth into the galaxy, then there will be no meaning for the gates of heaven to be open. And you can't say, well, it was the furthest most heaven open. No. The heavens gates were open, meaning the gates above the dome, there are gates, and the gates were open and the flood waters came pouring down. This is when it had closed. It says that, and the floodgates of heaven had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky. And we've all heard of the sky cracking open and Jesus coming back. The sky cannot crack open unless there is a glass-like dome or a dome-like structure above us that it would make sense for it to crack open and everything to open up like a scroll. The biggest thing is I know Jesus gave me that dream, and I know what I saw, the sky cracking open and him coming down. It wasn't just him coming from heaven and floating down and we saw him all the way down. No. It was cracked open. This is crazy.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.